is it hard to not go, I've got a hunch about this guy, and I just,
Sometimes, because I think it's human nature to, what's the old phrase, don't judge a book by its cover. And yet there's also a maxim about people's first impressions of people often being correct. So that's sort of in conflict. But, you do the very first time you meet a client now, or as then, when I was a public defender, you kind of, size them up, make some snap judgments. But as a professional, I've also learned that I kind of check those at the door. And now when I meet somebody and maybe I hear the prosecution's version first, which of course is usually what you have with a criminal complaint or an indictment, it's very one-sided. It's presented only from the prosecution's viewpoint and usually leaves out anything that helps the defense. So you read that over, you're meeting with a client, and I've learned, though, to sort of check my opinion at the door and to listen to the person as a human being and hear what they have to say. But you do still find yourself looking at them, listening to them, and imagining, well, how are other people going to react when they hear this person explain? Are they going to be looking at his body language or her body language, or, I could tell he looked guilty by his eyes. You hear those kinds of things, and you have to be thinking ahead. And so I make those kinds of assessments early on in my meetings with people, rather than judging so much the content of, are they telling the truth or not? Are they innocent or are they guilty? Because it's very often further investigation that comes through that's necessary to answer that question.
Yeah. That's interesting how you say about how they present to other people. I guess that's a really important part of
it is
what you do, I guess.
It is. And, most times prosecution witnesses, there's a lot of police officers, and they're really professional witnesses. They're taught how to testify. They testify frequently. You'll see even in Making a Murderer, all of the prosecution's witnesses were taught to sort of pivot in their chair and answer my questions while looking at the jury, not me. Which is just a sort of more of a professional technique. It's like I wanted to say, no, look at me. I'm asking the question. Don't look at them. But most of the time, my clients are not professional witnesses. They've never testified in court before, and they're nervous. Some of them are uneducated, inarticulate, and people make snap judgments, like I said, with first impressions. You have to also be careful, even before your client ever testifies, if that happens in a case. That the jury is watching the defendant throughout the trial, how he or she react to various testimony. You often hear, and part of this is the media, when they report some part of a trial, they'll say that the defendant showed no emotion when this such and such was said, as if somehow that shows that they're cold, rather than trying to simply be dignified and respectful of the courtroom.
Yeah.
So these are all things you have to think about.